There you go. Grant has done my hard work for me. Thank you very much, Grant. I was just trying to look it up myself while I was chatting away. But Grant has done the hard work for me, and he scored 55 goals for that record-breaking season in 2021-22. And that was in all competitions. So I very, very much appreciate you doing the legwork for me behind the scenes there, Grant. And I think, you know, for a first season with Harry Kane, I think, let's be honest, Harry Kane is a striker and Bayern a squad more than capable of creating 55 goal-scoring opportunities for Harry Kane quite comfortably. And he's quite capable of scoring 55 goals in a single season in all competitions. But I think expecting that to use his pace by bursting beyond Harry Kane, and that's going to be something that backlines that come up against Bayern this season are going to have to cope with. It's the fact that Harry Kane can drop deep and their centre-back cannot afford to get sucked in too much because Kingsley Coman, Serge Gnabry, Leroy Sané, Jamal Musiala, all of those players, if not more, are ready to make that run beyond Harry Kane to try and get on the score sheet. And I just think that while Harry Kane, he will score the goals, I think his impact is going to go so far beyond just him hitting the back of the net. But I like the confidence that we're seeing from the chat here. Vangelis even says, you know, he'll score around 40 to 45. There you go. Grant has done my hard work for me. Thank you very much, Grant. I was just trying to look it up myself while I was chatting away. But Grant has done the hard work for me, and he scored 55 goals for that record-breaking season in 2021-22. And that was in all competitions. So I very, very much appreciate you doing the legwork for me behind the scenes there, Grant. And I think, you know, for a first season with Harry Kane, I think, let's be honest, Harry Kane is a striker and Bayern a squad more than capable of creating 55 goal-scoring opportunities for Harry Kane quite comfortably. And he's quite capable of scoring 55 goals in a single season in all competitions. But I think expecting that in this first season would maybe be setting the bar a little too high. Because really, it's about the positive impact he's going to make on the likes of Jamal Musiala and Serge Gnabry as well. Release them, because Jamal Musiala last season at times was carrying the responsibility of scoring the goals. Then Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting kind of took over that burden. But Harry Kane loves scoring goals, loves playing as the lone striker, and will happily accept that responsibility. And his main aim, if you listen to some of the interviews he's given since joining the club, one of his main aims is to make the teammates around him better as well. It's a very humble and admirable and noble way of going about things. But if you look at his time with Tottenham, Harry Kane was a superstar player, but also put a lot of focus on helping improve those around him. And it wasn't this out-and-out selfish striker. And I just think that's why Thomas Tuchel, that's why Bayern really went above and beyond to try and sign Harry Kane, because they felt he could be the missing piece that could maybe take them back to winning 2, perhaps even 3 titles again in a single campaign. Harry Kane himself admitted it. He said Thomas Tuchel played a major role, but when you come to a club like Bayern, you have to win. That's the expectation. Paul is asking where Harry Kane is now. I have admittedly just been waxing lyrical about him. So I'll remind you again, as I'll do throughout this live stream, Harry Kane not in attendance today on account that he became a father for the 4th time on Sunday. And as a result, he won't return to Sebenerstrasse until tomorrow. But there is good reason for him not being in attendance today. Although it is a shame. It would have been lovely to see Harry Kane in what would have been his first live training session on the Bayern channels today. But there will be plenty of opportunities, I have no doubt. And the fact is, his goal against Werder Bremen, simply the start of things to come. I don't think there's any doubt about that either. The first of many goals that he's going to score in a Bayern shirt. Joshua Kimmich also pleased with the response that Bayern showed in that defeat. Excuse me, to that defeat against Leipzig. And ultimately, a player that always strives for perfection at the highest level. Has a lot of demands for himself. Nevertheless, there's still a debate going on about whether his desire to affect so much of the play prevents him from being the out-and-out number 6 that maybe Bayern need and that Thomas Tuchel has asked for. The fact is, if they don't sign any other midfielders, I don't think they'll have a problem on account of the fact that they've got such a plethora of options in midfield. Joshua Kimmich, Leon Goretzka, Konrad Laimer, Ryan Gravenberch. These are top-quality individuals, top-quality midfielders. Yeah, Alexander asking what Bayern's next fixture is. I can tell you it's a home game against Augsburg on Sunday, the first time the Allianz Arena will open its doors for a Bundesliga fixture this season. As, of course, played host to the Super Cup, the 3-0 defeat to Leipzig, where Dani Olmo became the first non-Bayern player to score a hat-trick at the Allianz Arena since Robert Glatzel did it in 2019. Back then, that was a DFB Pokal second-round tie against Heidenheim, who are now in the Bundesliga, became the 57th team to compete in Germany's top flight, making their debut on the weekend against Wolfsburg. It did end in defeat, but nice to have a bit of a romantic story with Heidenheim in Germany's top flight this season. Nevertheless, they won't have fond memories of facing Bayern after that cup defeat, but Robert Glatzel no longer on their books. It was an incredible match, I remember. Bayern winning the high-scoring affair in the end, but Heidenheim gave such a good account of themselves. With the sun beating down here at Zebener Strasse, very important to keep everything hydrated. That's not just the players. Niklaus saying Harry Kane isn't just a goal scorer on the pitch. Oh, I shouldn't read that out loud. You had me thinking it was an innocent comment there, Niklaus, but bit of a tongue-in-cheek one there that I'll refrain from refrain from reading out, but you almost got me in trouble. Almost got me in trouble. Crispy Pockets, he says, today is my birthday. My name is Dennis. So Dennis, happy birthday. Don't mind giving out a birthday shout. Shout out on the feed as well. Thanks for tuning in. Always a pleasure. Personally, I just love hearing from as many Bayern fans as possible during these things. I think there's some great discussions that we've had in the past. Connor's loving what he's seeing from Ritzy Hulsmann as well. Connor also asking the question of whether Bayern will win the Champions League this season. I think confidence levels are always high when it comes to a competition that Bayern have thrived in the past. Yes, recent seasons haven't been as kind to them as they would have liked, being knocked out in the quarterfinals in 3 straight campaigns. For some clubs, that would be a really good record. For a club like Bayern, their aspirations are a lot higher. Now, personally, I would back them to get beyond the quarterfinals this season. I think Harry Kane is that X factor that can make a difference. But let's be honest, I mean, the competition for that Champions League title is incredibly fierce this season. I do believe that Bayern are capable of it. I do believe that Thomas Tuchel knows what it takes to win that title. I think he knows what he needs to do to get the best out of this team to win that title. But when you're coming up against, these behemoth sides that have spent huge fees on not maybe just one player, but multiple players this summer. And I'm talking about the Manchester Cities. I'm talking about the Real Madrids of this world. It's certainly not a foregone conclusion ever in the Champions League, that's for certain. But Bayern, with Harry Kane on board, I do believe are more than capable of winning that Champions League title again. No doubt. Got people tuning in from Sweden, from Malta. Paul asking why Gnabry didn't play against Werder Bremen. He was carrying a knock, Paul. That's why he wasn't in the matchday squad. He is in training, though, today, which suggests that he'll be back for that game against Augsburg on Sunday. Alexander saying Thomas Tuchel really got us scared on the first match against Leipzig. We almost felt he wasn't good anymore. Well, that is the fickle nature of the world of football, but I always err on the side of caution when it comes to things like that. Don't jump to conclusions too quickly. Thomas Tuchel is an incredibly talented head coach, and he has an incredibly talented squad at his disposal now. And the key difference this season for Thomas Tuchel, Alexander, is that he has had a full pre-season to work with his side and really get his ideas across, instead of taking over at the back end during the business end of the season when life is so tough for teams, especially one like Bayern who are chasing so many titles. They have to be near perfect at all times, and he didn't want to come in and make too many big waves. Now that he's had time to work with this squad during this summer, something tells me bigger and better things are set to come from this Bayern side. Mohammed, you're asking who my favourite player in the squad is. Oh, that's a great question. I'll be honest, I've got a couple. I'm a huge fan of Jamal Musiala because I just think he's an incredible talent. I mean, wonderful player, isn't he? I mean, the minute he gets the ball at his feet, you just feel, you have that sense that something's going to happen. And while teams are definitely playing a closer eye to him now in terms of making sure they don't give him as much time and space to operate in, I think his talents are just the type of talents that are going to continue to grow and grow and grow. And I think he's got a huge, huge future ahead. And I think, he could be up there if he decides to stay with Bayern his whole career and follow in the footsteps of someone like Thomas Müller, the man on your screen there, cooling himself off. Then Jamal Musiala is the type of player that has started at the type of age that he could break all of Müller's records,